Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Captain's Horror Meltdown. My name is Cammie and I will be your captain on this journey. And I am, as always, joined by my partner in crime on these missions, quartermaster on this shit.
Oh,
Jon.
that sounds super impressive.
It does sound pretty impressive, doesn't it? I kind of wasn't entirely... I had a vague idea of what it was. Obviously because Q in James Bond is named Q because he's the quartermaster. So I thought,
Okay.
yeah, he's the guy that sorts out the supplies and deals with all the weapons and things like that. But that's the case in the army, not the case in the navy. I looked it up. I did actually look it up today. But you'll be impressed to hear, in the Royal Navy, the quartermaster is the helmsman, which means you're actually sailing the boat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Don't expect me to take any leads on this episode.
I'll be telling you where to go. You'll be steering the ship. It's a recipe for disaster.
This is going to be a long episode.
Now we're back in the boat. How's your shore leave been over the last week? Anything exciting happened?
It's been a relatively quiet week, apart from, as we were just chatting beforehand, Alexander's school got attacked by squirrels.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I want to know if this kind of stuff happens elsewhere or if it's just in Scotland that school can come under attack by squirrels. But not only that, you're going to have to explain, as if a squirrel attack wasn't bad enough, what did they do? What happened this attack?
Well, they're in the school building somewhere in some sort of space of some, like an unused kind of area. And they were getting in amongst some asbestos. And the fear was the squirrels would sort of like pick away at the asbestos and then start dropping it all over the playground. So obviously they thought the best idea was to kind of close that area. But it was just amazing because this area was cordoned off. I said to one of the parents, what's going on? And they just nonchalantly turned around and said, oh, squirrels. What? Like it was the most natural thing in the world. No, that's not. I'm going to need some more information. I'm like, oh yeah, and asbestos. Like, right, what?
This was in the afternoon when you went to pick Alexander up.
Well, no, in the morning it was the area was shut off. But Alexander will not believe me that the cause of the problem is squirrels.
Does he like squirrels? Do you think they're cute? Is he a fan of squirrels?
He's fairly amenable to a squirrel. But unfortunately, I talk a lot of bollocks to him. So when I say something to him like, "Oh, they've closed the area due to squirrels," he's like, "Oh, come on!"
Oh man, he's only in primary one, and he's already like your web of lies has come back to haunt you already.
Absolutely, man. I just tell him so much.
Reverse point at cried wolf. So pretty action-packed week. Have you had any film-related news this week?
Yeah, well, I don't know about news, but yeah, it's been my kind of first full week of school drop-offs and stuff. I got up by the end of the week. I then had shooting a wedding on Saturday, so Rachel was just like, why don't you just go out and watch a film or something on Sunday? I was like, fair enough, I'll go and do that. So I went to see The Equalizer 2.
Oh yeah, so when you sent the message saying that you'd gone to see that, I, in the chat, for some reason, hadn't realised, I thought it was probably out at home and you were just sitting drinking at home on a Sunday morning watching The Equalizer 2.
No, actually, full-scale cinema event. I mean, I quite enjoyed it. I'm not going to tell you it's a great film. I wouldn't lie to you. I couldn't tell him that, but
enjoyable though.
Yeah, I mean, I like Denzel Washington. I can pretty much watch him in anything at all, to be honest. And if you don't want to see Denzel Washington vigilante 5 city wanker banker guys after they've sort of looks like they've raped an intern and just like got rid of her in his taxi. If you don't tell me you don't want to see him go in there and start snapping their bones, you're a liar. You're a massive liar. Oh, I tell you one thing. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but things in cinemas that piss me off.
Yeah.
My new one at the minute is people taking pictures of themselves in the cinema and posting it to social media.
What the fuck is that all about?
I have no idea. I mean, you're literally doing something that anybody else in the country could be doing.
Probably thousands of people are doing at the same time as you.
Yeah, it's no interest to anyone whatsoever. And you know, if you had perchance stumbled across 5 city types who had molested an intern and then snapped all their bones, absolutely put that on social media, and I would applaud you for it, because that's interesting shit. But you sitting in a cinema watching Denzel Washington do it is of no interest to me. But it did become of interest to me when the person directly in front of me kept on checking their post to see if anyone had fucking reacted to it throughout the film. I was just like, no one's reacted it because no one gives a fuck.
Oh shit. Highlight of the week happened just today. It's making the bed this morning.
Okay.
We're into autumn now. Lots of very sleepy wasps about.
Oh.
There was a wasp just having a little crawl around in the little blanket that goes over the bottom of our bed. I didn't see it, picked it up. Fucker stung me right in the finger.
Oh, shit.
Probably, I've had a couple of wasp stings. In my adult life, I have. But probably, like, I don't know, 20 years ago. Something like that, right?
Yep.
And I remember them being, like, nippy, but it just went away, right? So anyway, this little fucker stung me, ripped the bottom of its tail off. So the sting was still on my finger, right? Got it, pulled it out. Right? I was like, that's pretty fucking nippy, right? But it'll go away in a minute. But it stung me on my ring finger, right?
Oh.
My ring finger, then my finger started to swell.
Oh.
And was like ballooning, and I couldn't get the ring off my finger.
Oh, fuck.
And my finger started to go like slightly black at the end. So I was like trying to like sort of try and wiggle my ring a bit to just try and get some blood flowing into my finger again. Ended up, I was going off to gala anyway. So went to the pharmacy, picked up some antihistamines, see if that would take the swelling down. Showed the woman and she went, it's not the reaction you want from a pharmacist.
Oh, God.
It's happened to me in the past, but I showed her and she went, oh. Vinegar helped. And then I managed to get some butter onto like the edges of the ring. I managed to sort of rub some butter underneath it.
This is a bit like Last Tango in Paris.
So, well, yeah, but slightly less erotic. I managed to start wiggling it off my finger. Yeah, I had to sort of start applying some ice as well to try and get swelling down. Because as I was pulling the ring forward, the tip of my finger was just all the liquid was just filling up. So it took 2 attempts. It was fucking agony to get off.
Jesus Christ, man.
So basically, I spent my afternoon. I mean, the sting itself wouldn't have been so bad if it wasn't for the whole ring disaster. So I did eventually get it off. But I will say, as predicted, the thing that's been helping most is this lovely can of Tennent's.
Yeah, I thought as much.
Unbelievable. Yes. So here we are, episode 6. And we have come to Brawl in Cell Block 99. And the link this time is the director.
Yep, it's our
Same director.
First directorial link.
Yep. So 2017, listed as an action thriller.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I made a note of was like, are we going to have to justify why this is on a horror podcast?
I would say not.
If you've seen it, I would say no, probably not.
No, not at all. I would say it's, for me, more close. Action thriller, yeah, I can see that, fair enough. I would say it fits more neatly into the sort of revenge stroke prison exploitation grindhouse vibe.
I would 100% agree with that.
It's definitely got a heavy duty grindhouse vibe going down. We're talking S. Craig Zahler, director, his second feature. I think he actually wrote it before Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, okay.
But made it after Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
It's a wild piece of cinema. Because this was your first time round, wasn't it?
It's my first time round, yeah. Yeah, it was the first time I'd actually seen it. So it was.
I was excited for you.
Man. And do you know what? It actually wasn't what I expected at all. I managed to avoid all trailers and all spoilers. Nobody's actually talked to me about it at all, despite many people telling me that I would love it. Nobody's actually sort of spoiled it for me. As always, we're going to be spoiling the film the whole way through. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. if you want to check it out before we ramble on about it. But yeah, it completely took me by surprise. I was sort of expecting some sort of like non-stop fight movie or something.
Yeah.
I just in my head some sort of like an extended version of the sort of corridor scene from Old Boy.
Yeah, it's just funny you should mention that. Yeah.
So it completely took me by surprise, like how. But here we are. It's 2 hours, 15 minutes, something like that. But it felt like it fairly zipped along, considering there's not a massive amount going on for a lot of the film as well.
Well, I was watching my second viewing. I was kind of almost surprised that the first hour or so is probably. You could probably describe it as fairly slow, really. Yeah. But it still holds the interest. Because they're constantly dropping things in, which really works. It's a bit of a slow burner, I guess. And in terms of pace, it never goes wild, but just some of the things that happen in it are just so shockingly violent. It's just incredible.
Unbelievable. So what are we talking here? We're talking the story finds Vince Vaughn, the main lead actor, fired from his job. No real explanation of any backstory with him at all.
Just straight in. Yeah.
That tattoo's never mentioned. He's got a hell of a tattoo in his napper.
It's very prominent.
Very prominent head tattoo. And he's fired, goes back home from being fired to discover his wife cheating on him.
Yep.
Goes fucking apeshit, destroys a car.
Wow. An incredible feat of car destruction, like bare-handed car destruction. It's when he rips the bonnet off a car, or hood, if you will. I was like, holy shit. But with what seems like no effort whatsoever.
He's punching the light out. Punching the light and pulling the insides of it out. Yeah. It's like so methodical, you can just feel the rage in him. It's unbelievable. That scene really reminded me of the. Do you remember in the arcade Street Fighter 2? Yeah, the scenes where he had to beat up the car in between. Kind of reminded me of that. It's a wild scene. So we quite quickly then we meet his wife Jennifer Carpenter, and discover that things have been pretty shitty for the two of them. She's had a miscarriage and they seem to have not really sort of got where they wanted in life. He decides to call an old mate. Seems to be an old mate. This is a bit of backstory that we've never got either. They seem to be close, those guys. Maybe they grew up together. Right, it's the classic. I'll just do a couple of drug jobs just to get a bit of cash to get myself out of trouble here. Cut to 18 months later, and they are living the high life. Well, living a very modest high life, though, aren't they? They've got a lovely house and all the rest, but it's nothing too flashy. They're still being very careful. And then it all sort of descends from there, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I guess the drug lord guy introduces a new element into it, which is I don't know, the Mexicans.
I think they're Mexican. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they go. Yes, Vince Vaughn and these two Mexican chaps go to pick up a drop, and it all goes pretty badly wrong from there.
Yeah.
The police involved. Well, the two Mexican guys are blasting the police, and Vince Vaughn actually kills them to stop them attacking the police. Yeah,
totally. I wondered as well, though, and actually, I think Craig Zahler said, or S. Craig Zahler said in one of the extras for Bone Tomahawk, they likes to leave a lot of stuff up to the imagination of the viewer. But I wondered. Obviously, he was doing the right thing and saving the cops there, but I wondered if he might also really be effectively protecting the drug operation by silencing two people that could talk. Although one of them survives, doesn't he?
He does, yes.
Yes. Hell of a revenge later on. Anyway, so that all happens. He thinks he thinks he's going to get 4 years in jail, gets 7 years in jail, gets sent off to lovely sort of medium security prison.
Yep.
And then is confronted by the situation where Udo Kier turns up and says
which
that
is always going to be bad news, isn't it?
Man, I know, totally. I was overjoyed to see Udo Kier turn up.
Yeah.
Jesus, what a legendo, absolute legend. So he turns up, says, right, I work for the guy that you fucked over. You owe us a favour. You need to kill so and so. To do so, you have to get out of this jail, you have to get into this high security jail, and you have to get into the worst wing of the high security jail to carry out this mission for us. We've got your wife, who's now heavily pregnant, and we're going to abort your unborn child if you don't do this.
Well, it's worse than that. Got a guy there who claims he can go in, cut off the limbs, but leave the baby alive. Ugh, unpleasant. Well, that seems as good a time as any to lead us into a little soundbite from the film, and here is that exact scene. I've edited down a touch because there's quite a few long pauses, which is probably not ideal for a podcast, but anyway, here you go. Here's a little flavour.
Where's Dr. Pillman?
Sit down. Pick up the phone.
Remain calm. If you call any attention to us, I will leave, and you will regret my departure for the rest of your life. Not that you understand. My employer sent his regards.
You work for Eleazar. Why are you here?
Your betrayal cost my employer $3.2 million. I'm here to settle that matter. There is an abortionist from Korea. He works for my employer. He claims that he can clip the limbs of a fetus, yet leave the child in such a condition that it will live to be born. This little operation will only happen if you don't pay your debt to my employer. There is a prisoner who my employer wants dead. He is serving a life sentence at the Redleaf detention center.
I'm in the fridge for 7 years. How in the hell am I supposed to choke out some guy over in Redleaf?
Redleaf is maximum security. Show the staff here that you have to be transferred.
If I nail this guy, Eleazar will let my wife go. Unharmed.
Yes.
Can you give me some sort of guarantee?
Certainly. If you don't do what my employer wants you to do, I guarantee you will receive a package with nothing less than 2 limbs of your unborn child. Sadly, I cannot guarantee if your child will survive or what the fate of your wife will be.
Who's this guy I'm supposed to get?
Christopher Bridge. And he is in Redleaf, cell block 99.
If my old man had seen it, would have been like, yeah, it would, his old catchphrase when I used to be sort of watching all these like crazy old horrors was, you have to wonder about the state of mind of the sickos that come up with this stuff, don't you? But yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, that's probably quite true. So yeah, then off he goes, and in typical Zahler style, I guess it kind of all flips a bit, really, doesn't it? He's not going there to get someone. He's going there because the guys who he fucked over are in that jail.
Yep. And they want to fuck him over.
So they can fuck him over.
Yep.
Wowzers.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean, so it is, so basically he just has to go through more just bouts of intense violence. First of all, to get out of that jail into that horrendous jail. And then he's got to get into cell block 99. And the way he does that is by fucking more people up. I mean, really fucking people up.
Yeah.
It is. And then the one in the sort of medium security jail, well, it's pretty bad when the guy's his arm gets snapped, bone out, horrendous. Oh. But the guys in the prison yard get it really tight. When he moves on to that next prison. But I love that scene, that fight in the prison yard. It's shot absolutely amazingly. And I just love Vince Vaughn in this. He's kind of this...
Oh, man. Let's just talk about Vince Vaughn for a minute. Everyone will know Vince Vaughn, surely.
Yeah.
But most people know him for his comedy performances.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know much about him outside those.
Well, the only horror thing I could think of seeing him in was Gus Van Sant's remake, like shot-for-shot remake of Psycho, which he starred in.
I've not seen it.
So it's like literally a shot-for-shot remake. It just seems utterly pointless. Yeah, sort of mainly known for Swingers, which is where probably the first time I heard of Vince Vaughn was probably Swingers.
Yep.
But then classics like Dodgeball.
Yep. Well, I think my favourite of his is Old School. I love that film.
Old School. Wedding Crashers is a pretty good one as well.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, real sort of comedy actor that you don't really think of it in the comedy films, but seeing him in this, he's a fucking machine.
He is the definition of a weapon.
He is huge, absolutely huge. He's a big laddie, isn't he?
Yeah, extremely tall. I like the way his physique's really great in this, because it's not like overbearing that I am just a muscly powerhouse. Just like he's got that kind of odd lumbering thing going on, but he's so precise when he's beating the shit out of people. Like I can't really properly describe it, but it's breathtaking to watch. Well, and the way it's shot as well, when the fight scenes are great, because it's not, there's no fast cuts to this, that, and the other. It's like an unflinching one shot. All the stuff's done in camera, and it's just like, oh my god, it's just amazing. And when you mentioned the scene in Old Boy, very reminiscent of that. It's just that kind of constant shot of people just getting wiped out. And it's absolutely fantastic. Love every second of that scene.
Zahler had said that the choreographers had worked on some of the sort of Wing Chun Kung Fu stuff over the choreography and that. So it's got that sort of weird, I like that it's not realistic. The fights look totally choreographed. Yeah. But they look amazing, utterly brutal. Oh yeah, utterly brutal.
Yeah, it's not a case of people just being punched down the go. No, we're bones snapping. Yeah, there's just all kinds of stuff going on.
He's gonna end every fight pretty quickly by breaking something or just killing someone. Basically.
There's none of this elongated 5-minute fight scene nonsense. It's swift blows that are so deadly to watch. It's looking at, you feel every single one of them. You're like, I mean, it's one of those ones where you're audibly be watching and just like, ah! You actually, those noises are coming out of you. You're on your own.
Totally. I was doing that last night. So much more. Actually, talking about the punches rocking them. When I don't know if you noticed, but on the main menu of the Blu Ray, the whenever the sort of clip in the background, whenever he's punching anyone, the whole screen shakes.
I didn't really clock that.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll check it out. Yeah, nice little touch. So who else have we got in this? Jennifer Carpenter, his wife.
Yep, I know. I was a big fan of the Dexter series, so I know her mostly from that.
Yeah, that's where I knew her from as well. Like I didn't. I see that she has done a couple of horror films. She was listed
remake
as
of
doing
Wreck.
Oh man, which I didn't see, but I hear is absolutely atrocious. And Wreck was amazing.
It's all right. I think that's probably people have probably been unfair to it, I'd imagine, just because it was
a pointless remake for America.
It's a pointless remake, and it was very much at the height of remake anger, I think, when that came out. It's okay.
Wreck's a great little film.
It's superb. Yeah. She's a very unique looking person, very striking.
She is very striking. Flips completely. I like at the start of this film, she looks rough as hell.
Yeah.
When you first see her, I mean, obviously this, by design. Yeah. She looks pretty fucking terrible, but then by the end she looks great. Yeah, but I mean, she has got a very distinctive look.
Yeah.
And
cool.
She's got quite a distinctive acting style in Dexter, which.
Yeah.
But she's actually pretty great in this. When we're talking about the actors, we will notice this time and time again. But she's going to be in Zahler's next film, Tried to Cross Concrete.
Oh, well, good.
As is Vince Vaughn.
Yes, yep. Who else is in that? Someone else quite.
As is Don Johnson. As is Udo Kier. One of the big surprises for me was Don Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's absolutely fantastic, and he's been. Do you know? It's not surprising that he's in this, because he does have a bit of sort of grindhouse. In fact, he was in Grindhouse, wasn't he? No, he wasn't. He was in Machete. Machete.
Yeah.
Obviously, Don Johnson of Miami Vice fame, but also Django Unchained pops up in that as well. What a brilliant character and what a brilliant role. So he's the head of the high security prison. I love that it kind of, everything's almost grounded in a bit of reality.
Yep.
Bit of realism until he leaves the medium security prison.
Yep.
Like, even the medium security prison feels real. In fact, it was filmed in a real prison, former prison. It just suddenly flips, and when you see Don Johnson and his guards come out, you're like, oh, we're into a whole new territory here. We're going into a sort of fantasy film, exploitation.
Yeah, where he comes out with chomping the cigar.
Chomping the cigar in their black outfits. They look like sort of fascist soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. You can just tell it's going to go absolutely tits up. And Vince Vaughn, unfazed by any of it the whole way through.
Yep. No, doesn't show a flicker of anything at all. Just getting on with the task in hand.
The task in hand.
So yeah, well, he eventually gets to the cell block 99 and finds out that the people, well, he didn't really screw them over, but I guess that's the way they look at it. And of course they are in there and seem to rule that little roost and just want them in there so they can kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, totally.
I presume over a prolonged period of time.
Well, yeah, because the guard says when they drag him in, sort of, don't kill him straight away, don't kill him today, because we'll get in shit for it. Oh man, but the tables are turned incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
Like the very next time they ask to see him. After he's worked out how to, so when he's in there, when he's put into cell block 99, he has this electric shock belt attached to him.
Yeah.
So the guards can shock him at any point.
Yeah.
And he manages to get around that by taking the insoles of his shoes out and putting them over the electrodes.
Yeah.
That are placed on his back, which enables him to just go through. It's one of those things that you're like, oh well, how long is this going to be strung out? In a normal film, you'd expect it to be sort of the revenge to be meted out bit by bit or whatever, but he just goes in there and basically kills everybody.
Yeah, just annihilates them.
Oh,
absolutely man. Annihilates them.
That scene is just that first guy when he like grinds his face along the stone floor.
God. And his face
flips him over, and he's just like a sort of skull. You're like,
yeah, his face is just hanging off the bottom of him. It's just, oh my God.
I mean, what do you make of the a couple of things that I've read? Again, you were saying before we came on, not a lot of information, not a lot of cold hard facts about the film out there, really. It does seem to be the case that the special effects were specifically made to look like 70s grindhouse effects. Yeah, which they do. And
they do, yeah.
I love that style of effect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It gets the message across. It's horrendous.
It's just a montage of snapping and grindings and fuck knows what. Fingers. Oh, dearie me. So yeah, he gets hold of the drug, well, the supposed rival drug lord. It probably is now. And yeah, he's basically getting him to call off the horror that is about to be made out on his wife.
That has to be said. I haven't got the actor's name, but the guy that plays the I don't know why he specifically mentioned to be Korean. Like that's sort of innately evil.
Yeah, I think they've got. I think they've brought another bit of grindhouse kind of vibe to that. But I think he's just known as the abortionist, and there is one absolutely superb scene when obviously. Oh God! It's when Vince Vaughn's got the boss, and eventually nuclear system. Right? Okay, change of plan, and he's got all these instruments laid out in front of him, ready to perform the first kind of act of fetus mutilation. And it's amazing when he's called off, the look of disappointment on his face.
Yeah, totally.
It's like when you tell a little kid they can't go outside and play football with their friends, and it's just amazing. He's got a little sinking face. You kind of expect him to scuff his shoes off the ground a little bit and walk away dejectedly. But it's a lovely, lovely little moment. One of the, that's a funny little moment. But there is, looking at it, Vince Vaughn's got some really great one-liners in this, like throughout the whole film.
Totally, but the whole way through, there's loads of little lines that are like really funny, but just totally underplayed. Just like really beautiful little, tiny little bits of comedy gold in there. But like everything delivered utterly deadpan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Utterly deadpan. The whole thing.
The tone of it's incredible. The look of it's I mean, it's in the first half of that film. It's like you couldn't find a colder looking film if you tried. It's unbelievable.
And the cells are absolutely beautifully shot as well. It's that first jail that, like, when he spends his first night, it's like pure film noir lighting.
Yeah.
With the sort of like completely black, but with the green sort of bars across him and stuff. Yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. Well, I was speaking to a friend of the podcast. Well, hopefully a friend of the podcast. He might not be. Who knows? Mitch, the other day, and he actually saw it on its cinema release over here.
Oh, really? Jesus.
Yeah, it was out for a week, I think, in the UK, right. And he saw it at the Showcase Cinema in Coatbridge, of all places.
Bizarre.
You could get into a sort of Brawl and Cell Block 99 style fight in Coatbridge quite easily. And he saw it at 11 at night, and he said when he walked into the cinema, there was one guy mopping the floor, and he was like, sorry, is the cinema open? The guy was like, yeah, we're open, yeah. Just have to collect your own ticket from the machine and stuff, see yourself in. And he was the only person in the whole screen.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think I'd find that quite unnerving.
Yeah. Imagine stepping out of the cinema at like 1:15 in the morning in Coatbridge.
Coatbridge? Jesus Christ. Taxi! Immediately, taxi! Location-wise, what were you thinking of the film? So all shot in New York this time. You couldn't be further across the country than the last film, which is Western. All shot in, and Zahler's from New York, and I think both the producers are from New York as well. Right, all shot in New York and Staten Island. So first prison they go to is the former Arthur Kill Correctional Facility, which closed in 2011, but is now operated as a film set. That's what it is. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it was, which is great. It's like one of the things that we have problems with. Looking for prisons when we're filming here in Scotland. A lot of the old Victorian prisons have been redeveloped, have been closed down, redeveloped. The sort of best of them have gone now. Quite hard to go and film in an operational prison, as you can imagine, for security reasons.
I can see difficulties.
I think Barlinnie at points has had empty wings, but it's that's not very common, I think. So it is quite a tricky thing. You quite often end up building cells individually and or going to court cells at weekends and things like that. It's always a bit of a tricky one. It's actually a great, completely derelict jail in town in Glasgow that I filmed in recently. That was fantastic. It was about to get redeveloped into a hotel, and the cells are going to be knocked through. So each two cells are going to be knocked through into one, and they're going to be sort of pod style hotel rooms.
Right.
Wild, eh? But so what they've done over there is when that jail closed down on Staten Island, a company bought it over and is maintaining it and operating it as a for film companies.
That's pretty.
It's a really good idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. So it's they had Ocean's 8 film in there, which I didn't see.
No.
They had this film in there, and they also had the new series of Orange Is the New Black, apparently.
All right.
So there you go.
That's a good long runner for them.
Yeah, totally. And the big location at the end was Fort Wadsworth, which was a sort of the main fort guarding New York over the years. Right. Also closed down now.
Was the Cell Block 99 stuff shot in there as well?
No, it's
I was going to wonder, because that's like a very different vibe to it altogether.
Well, the corridors were, and the exterior was.
Yeah.
But the actual cells inside were all built.
Right, okay.
So there's sort of like, the corridors outside the cell.
Yep. So that was as is.
Yeah, that was as is. Yeah. But they actually built the. Yeah.
Looks terrible.
I know, God. Imagine it was an active garrison until 1994, I think it was.
Shit. Yeah, it looks bleak as fuck.
Jesus, yeah.
Really bleak. I mean, it looks great in terms of what they're going for in the film, but dear Lord, can't imagine being posted there for any length of time.
Oh God, I know. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. So it's good to see he's actually got a location team on this time round. Unlike last time.
Obviously
flying the flag for us locators,
who like to locate.
Yes. But I mean, all of it again, sort of tying in, especially that the what was it called again? Red Leaf is the facility at the end, isn't it? Just all ties it so well into that sort of grindhouse exploitation vibe.
Yeah, I don't feel I need to go into the ending of this one. I'm gonna hope people listen. I think people can discover the ending for themselves. I mean,
it's fucking wild. That's what it is. It is wild. It doesn't disappoint at all. It doesn't disappoint.
No, absolutely. Everything is tied up. Well, I'm going to say nicely, fairly horrendously, really.
But very like the, you know, it's really interesting watching a film the whole way through where sort of the main character that you're cheering on and that you love, and is the sort of moral centre of it. Everything he does is for the right reason. It's just he's got this shit luck.
Yeah,
he's also
that's the thing about it. Obviously he's doing
violent.
it for I think that's one of the toughest parts of the film is like he's doing all this stuff and, you know, outwardly it just looks like he's a massive bastard, but it's all being doing, you know, he's doing it for a reason that he can't tell anyone. Yeah, and you know, I suppose there's quite a lot of films based on that kind of thing, but yeah, that's always quite in the back of your mind, just like, oh, I really just feel for this guy. It's just
totally.
So yeah, there's a lot of different kind of emotional strings being tugged there, but it's an absolutely it's fantastic. End of story.
It is great. Absolutely top quality entertainment. Well worth watching. Highly recommended, I would say.
If I had 3 thumbs, I'd probably give it 3 thumbs up. It's definitely vying for my favourite of the podcast so far. I
would say that probably so far, probably my most enjoyable. I don't know. Bone Tomahawk was great as well.
So I'm being attacked by a moth. Son of a bitch.
You really can't compare them, and that's what I really love. That's why I'm excited about Giant Across Concrete as well.
Yeah, because I'm expecting something completely different again. Yeah.
Your first 2 films to be so different, brilliant. And I just really hope that he's actually getting the money together now to be able to do what he wants to do. That's the other thing. This film was shot a lot. They had a lot longer to shoot it. What was Bone Tomahawk was 21 days. I think this was shot over 8 weeks.
Right.
So a lot more leisurely for them. But yeah, great film. Highly recommended. Get it watched. And let's take a break there.
We don't have any adverts, I guess. Maybe we could come up with an advert. We could do an advert for you, maybe. What with this talk of locations?
Oh yeah. I don't know what it would be.
Let me have a brief think. Let's see.
Let me have a beef link, did you say? That'd be delicious.
It's a euphemism. Let's see. Cammie. Locations manager. Boom, 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 boom. He'll locate shit and manage it. Cammie.com.
I need to get Cammie.com. That'd be a good one.
I've already seen it.
Is it filthy?
It's just full of horse porn.
Deary me. God, I thought I'd removed all that back in the GeoCities days.
No, it's very much still there.
Right, so on to our next section then.
Blue, it's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah. Blue, it's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah. Blue, it's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah. Blue, it's the Blu Ray review.
Another shorty coming up.
Yeah, totally. This is again, so the film was shot on red cameras yet again.
So I think it's a different red camera this time around.
A different red camera. I didn't actually find out what camera it was. It was shot because the last one was shot on the Dragon, wasn't it? But
yeah, and I think he said he found that sort of unpleasantly noisy. So in terms of picture noise, not the actual sound coming off the camera. Guys, can we turn that? No, afraid not. You have to crank it. Guys, it's digital. So I don't know, it's still got a crank. I can't figure it out. So yeah.
I'm sure I
we really should keep this brief as fuck, to be honest. It was really isn't.
Well, we should. Yeah, well, we can keep it brief as fuck. It was just shot. It looked to me to be. The first thing I read said it was shot in 4K. I read other things saying it was shot in 6K. Doesn't really matter. There is we're now in an era where effectively exploitation films are. This film has been released on UHD, ultra high definition.
Okay.
So it's out on 4K, which are not region coded. They're available the world over. So anyway, but we neither of us have got a UHD player. So
it's more that for me it's the
getting the projector.
Yeah, I mean I've got a 4K telly, but it's
I've got a 4K telly
like
as well.
43 inch. So to be honest, the distance I sit away from the telly, there's not a great deal of difference between.
No.
Well, certainly No, I've not tested a disc, but broadcast 4K and broadcast 1080. If on a screen that size, you're sitting 3-4 meters away. There's not much to shout about.
No.
So that's why if I want to get into it, I want to get a projector, but obviously 4K projectors are not cheap.
They'll come down though. Do you remember the days? Remember the days of What Hi-Fi magazine or whatever? You'd see sort of plasma screens for like 44 grand and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right.
50-inch plasma screen, 44 grand. What?
Yeah. Well, that was it. Yeah. I even remember. I think one of the first. I think that was in Richter Sounds many years ago. Well, not many. Well, a few years ago. And one of the sort of more first generation 4K screens that was something like 70 inches or something like that was £18,000. It's like right.
Yeah, totally.
But then merely 2 years later, you're getting. I remember mine was 500 quid.
Yeah, it's all I know as well, isn't it?
It's crazy. It is
You
crazy.
get allowed to way back. But anyway, onto the Blu-ray. So the Blu-ray, as you'd expect. Flawless picture, flawless sound, no problems at all. Absolutely no problems. Shot digitally, so there shouldn't be any problems.
There was one strange scene, and I kind of presume it's something to do with the camera. You know when you see him drop off the cash from a drug deal, he goes down into like a basement, and there's a guy there behind that glass sort of like a sort of a money teller in a bank kind of thing.
Yeah.
My picture looked really weird there.
It kind of like washed out or something.
It was like the colour. There was something bizarre going on with it. Something that's like effect I've just not seen before in a film, and it obviously looked like a defect to me, but obviously a defect when it was shot. Go back to it, man, and look at it. Unless it was just my cell, but it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I will do. I'll go back and check that out.
Have a look. Can't tell you what it is, but one to look out for if you're panicky shit like me.
Certainly no problems at all with apart from, possibly with that, but in general, no problems with the picture at all. And there's only one extra on this.
Yeah.
And it's a classic EPK. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Talking heads. Oh, it was lovely to work on this film. Oh, everyone is so nice. Oh, we had so much fun. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Not very many insights, unfortunately. Still, worth a watch. 15 minutes. You know.
It's
don't expect to glean any information. I don't think we're ever going to see a commentary from Zahler.
No,
so
you might be right.
It just seems that he's not very interested in talking specifics,
explaining too much,
anything, which is fair play to him. That's cool. I like that. I like it.
I respect that. Yep, I respect that.
The American Blu-ray has a half-hour Fantastic Fest Q&A, which wasn't present on the UK disc, and I couldn't find on YouTube or anything like that. No one's uploaded it. There were a couple of Toronto International Film Festival Q&As posted on YouTube, but I didn't bother watching since they're on the Blu-ray. So anyway, that's the Blu-ray review. It's also cheap as chips. It's like £8 or something in the UK.
Yeah, like brand new, £8, delivered, free delivery. Boom, there you go. Lovely.
So that's that. And let's move on to our final section.
Yes,
what would James Ferman think?
James Ferman was the director of the British Board of Film Classification from 1975 to 1999. And we ask ourselves, what would James Ferman do? What would James Ferman do? What would James Ferman say? We ask, what would James Ferman do? Tell us, James, what would you say?
This is an interesting one this time round. Something interesting happened with this film very recently. I don't know if you noticed at all.
Probably not.
So, the film, I went onto the BBFC website to have a look, and the film was released in the cinema on video on demand and on Blu Ray, uncut as an 18. Right. Now, in June of this year, so just a couple of months ago, it was resubmitted, and the distributors requested a 15.
What?
It's now been certified 15 with 44 seconds of cuts made at the request of the distributor.
So, are you saying this version we have may not exist very soon?
No, I just don't. I've got no idea why it's already out there. It's an 18. It's been released. I mean, it's Universal that are releasing it as well. Big distributor. They must have put it in. So, on the only other snippet I could find out about it was on IMDb. There's a note that says it's for broadcast purposes, but you don't need the film rated for broadcast.
No, you just have to.
It's up to the broadcasters.
That's odd.
It's utterly bizarre. I'd
love to know. I mean, I can imagine some of the things they cut out, but I'd love to know what it would look like with. Because 44 seconds doesn't sound like very much, but in terms of this film.
But there's not a massive amount of violence. Yeah, the thing is, oh God, there is a massive amount of violence, but there's not a massive amount of running time of violence, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's all, so 44 seconds is quite a lot. Yeah. But I just don't understand why they... And this is an argument that lots of... I see lots of young folks stumbling in. I think I talked about in a previous podcast. Lots of young folks stumbling into with... on Reddit and stuff, or, various forums, complaining about the BBFC. But the distributors can request a certificate. I just don't understand in this situation why they would want a 15 for this film. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. If something's a 15 or an 18, it's still going to be shown after the watershed, probably. Yeah. Unless they're... And I mean, Netflix and Amazon Prime don't have the same regulation for ratings, do they? You've got to be 18 to have a Netflix account. So the sort of general thinking is that you're going to be over 18 anyway to watch anything on it. So yeah, I don't know. But what do you think old Ferman would say? I was thinking about this with reference to Ricky O, which obviously didn't come out in the Ferman era. They didn't even try and get it past, I don't think. It's completely uncut now anyway. But had sort of... Well, it's a lot gorier, Ricky O, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but, it's crazy gore.
Yeah, insane gore. But do you know what I mean? But I mean, the actual gore in this is like quick, but some of the shots, individual shots, are horrendous. I think do you think the film would come out? What do you think his vibe would be? It's got too much of an exploitation vibe for it to get away with the old like art house crowd thing. That's never gonna work with this.
It's difficult because obviously it's different. I mean, if this film had been made in the Ferman era, I think it would have been a very different film. It would really been. It certainly wouldn't look as fantastic as it does. Let's be honest.
No,
it's difficult. You put that in front of him. You put a 1980s version in front of him. The 1980s version is going to suffer heavily, I would say. I don't know what I'd say about this. I mean, back in the day, he's going to cut it. As simple as that. Yeah. He is going to cut it.
It's going to be cut heavily. More than 44 seconds, I would say. I'd say almost all... The violence is going to be down to hardly anything.
Yeah. And I think, the way it's shot with those kind of wide angles during the fight scenes, you're not even really finding... Because, he was sometimes a fan of, reframing stuff now and again.
Yeah.
And so that'd be very hard to reframe this stuff because the vista's so wide to start with that even if you zoomed in, even if you zoomed in 50%, you'd still see most of what was going on.
Remember, he was also a fan of removing sound effects or lowering volumes.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, sort of take out the neck snap? Like, you can see the person getting their neck snapped, but you can't hear the noise.
Yeah.
Or you can hear the noise and not see their neck. Do you know, like, oh, fucking hell. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
All kinds of wildness, man.
Totally bizarre.
All kinds of wildness.
He's not going to be spinning his grave for this one, but he's going to have his scissors in his hands.
Definitely. Oh, the scissors will be out. There's no question about it.
No.
He'll be cutting it before it's finished. Before he's finished watching the film, he's already starting cutting bits out.
Yeah, totally.
Would he be morally outraged? I don't know. I think that might be a boat too far.
I mean, I think it would have had a heavily cut VHS release back in the day. I think that's what we can see. But heavily cut.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I would agree. I think it would be heavily cut. I don't think. Yeah, Sparing His Grave is way too far. I don't think it would be morally outraged because I don't think the content would fall into that.
No, nothing falls into that trap really.
So yeah, I think we're talking copious cuts. You might even find some killings aren't there at all.
Yeah,
they might just be gleefully chopped out.
He suddenly appears next to someone else in a completely unrelated scene. It's just sort of a jump cut to him talking to someone. You're like, what the fuck happened there? You know something's happened.
Yeah, because it's such an obvious cut.
Remember those days, you're like, what the fuck just happened there? We've clearly missed something.
Yeah, you've clearly cut to a completely different scene.
Yeah.
Obviously omitting stuff that's happened before, and I think that's kind of what this would look like. It would look messy. Yeah, I think reaching for the scissors.
Reaching for the scissors for sure.
Definitely applying scissors, no question about it.
I think that brings us to the end of our little chat about Brawl and Cellblock 99. A film that I can't wait to watch again. Watched that one time. Thoroughly recommend it for fans of exploitation cinema. And looking forward to his next one, man.
Yeah, so much so. As you say, I cannot wait for Dragged Over Concrete now. I will be in the cinema in a flash.
Excellent. But as will I. Maybe we should watch it together and do an episode on it.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it. So that's all for us for this episode, and we will be back next time with the link is prison movies. So the link is, this was set in prison. Our next film is set in prison, and it's called Prison.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't get a much better link than that. And I think neither of us have seen this. Well, we don't think we've seen it.
We don't think we've seen it. No,
we might start watching it, but you never
it's an
know.
80s number, is it?
Yep, 1987. Rennie Harlan, who went on to bigger Hollywood chops, I guess, after this.
Well, I have to say, I was reading up about him. Just I don't know why. I sort of forgo doing any research on this film and then just skip straight to it. I don't know. I was just interested in what. Because I think I was more interested in we've had so many debut features so far. I was like, where does this sit in his timeline? But he has won awards.
Has he?
He has. But what I will say, not the awards you want to win.
Oh, raspberries. Hold on, is Prison his first? Prison's not his first film.
I think it's only his second film, maybe.
Right. Shit though, man. Did Die Hard 2, Deep Blue Sea, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, and Cliffhanger. Mm-hmm.
He has also picked up 3 Razzies.
Excellent.
In his time. I can't remember what they were before, but I looked at him going, oh yeah, that was terrible. So yeah, and he seems to have disappeared off the radar in recent years to an extent.
Was it Legend of Hercules that you were looking at?
Oh, Jesus, that can't be good. Yeah, so sort of approaching this one with this mild trepidation, I would say.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It looks quite wigged out. So yeah, and it's easily available and cheaply available in the UK on Blu Ray from the fine folks over at 88 Films, I believe.
Indeed.
Yep. So if you want to join us, then grab yourself a copy and give it a whirl. And until next time, thanks for joining us on our ship.
Yep. God bless you and all that sail on you.
Bye for now.
Cheers, folks.